So in this first module, we're thinking about the difference between reading, just everyday reading, like if you're sitting on the bus and you read a poster of a movie when you drive past, or when you're looking at the newspaper, and active reading. Active critical reading is when you do a lot of different things. The most important one that you do is ask questions. And the kinds of questions that you're going to ask are things like, how many people were in the study? So what was the N, the foundational sample of the study? In other words, could the data that was gleaned from the study be statistically significant? If there were only 6 people in the study, and you asked all 6 of them, where are you transferring? And they all said CSUN, you couldn't say 100% of students said that the GCC student transfers to CSUN. Well, all 6 of those did. But what if you had surveyed 200 students graduating today, because today is graduation, and asked them? Then you'd get a variety of answers, all sorts of things from out of state to USC, private schools, public schools. So what's the size of the study? Who sponsored the study? If we're looking at a study that, for example, says that Teflon is good for your health, and in fact it strengthens your bones, but you find out that DuPont, the manufacturers of Teflon, actually sponsored the study or paid the scientists, then how likely is it those findings are reliable? So those findings have to be reliable, and one of the ways that we find out about it, beyond the study size, is who paid for the study. What were the credentials of those scientists doing the research? Or if it's a social studies, sociology research, or anthropology study, then we ask, well, did the anthropologists know how to do research? Had they studied it? Did they have PhDs? Did they work in the field? Did they teach at universities? We would ask all sorts of things about their credentials in order to make sure that we were giving our credence, our belief, to authors who deserved it. And that gives us the other side of the coin. What happens when we read something that's really titillating? It's really fun. It makes our, our mental taste buds water, but it is only to get, the red blood boiling. And it doesn't have any reliable foundation, or worse, it is such an isolated case. And we can all think of some right now in this political environment where red blood is being raised. Our blood pressure is being deliberately boosted by disturbing stories that are being circulated that are rarities, isolated cases, but we're being encouraged to believe everyone of that group or that religion or that nationality or anything else. We are being encouraged to believe that they all think that way, they all behave that way, they all commit that crime, so that our bigotry can be fomented, excited, and exploited. So you need to ask all the time, what was the size of the study? What were the quality of the data that were gleaned? Who paid for the study? Who's promoting the results? Where did this attitude or opinion come from? What is the evidence that supports it? And this is the essence of critical reading. When we go to a text, when we read it and we ask questions. Of course, critical reading involves good lighting, sitting comfortably, having a pencil in your hand, taking notes, annotating the text. Those are all important parts of critical reading. But the foundational skill that you have to bring is insightful skepticism, smart curiosity. Don't sit down passively when you are reading critically. Okay, let's get going.